Senator Pappas, what are the protections, we're giving out the names and addresses you talked about in this amendment in response to Senator Limmer. What are the times of the days, the times of the week? How many times in a day? How many times in a week? What days of the week can they show up paying these daycare or prospects a visit to their home? What time of the day can they go? Do we have any limitations on how early they can go or how late they can go to their house, and how many times in a day or a week or a month or a year? Similar to creditors who might hire a debt collecting company. We have limitations around when people can be visited and what days of the week or what time of the day. What do we have in this process that you're advocating for?
Senator
Mr. President and Senator Westrom, just like politicians who are looking for votes, I think union organizers who are looking for votes are going to be Minnesota nice and Minnesota polite if they want to get support. So obviously they would, with child care providers, they would come in the evenings or try to come during nap time, call for an appointment to see when it would be convenient. Because if they really annoy that person, then obviously they're not going to support the union. The same with PCAs. They work a lot of odd hours. And sometimes they work days, sometimes they work nights. So it might involve several phone calls to their home if they can find if they have their phone number listed, or, politely knocking on the door like we do when we go out and knock on our constituent doors to see if people have the time or are willing to talk, or if there's a more convenient time when they could come back. So I think that common courtesy will prevail.
Well, Mr. President, what we're hearing from the good senator from St. Paul is that there is no restriction on when they can pay these names and addresses a visit, or how many times in a day or a week. That confirms what I've been told in the prior efforts that were going on, that they were showing up at 6 and 7 in the morning at some of the people that have contacted me in western Minnesota. And so my concern would be, as the senator talks about this amendment giving out names and addresses so they can pay them a visit at their home, they can go any time of the day, as you've just heard. They can go as many times as they want. They can call them as many times as they want. And so, members, I think we ought to think carefully about that.
That the courts did rule that door-to-door advocacy is First Amendment protected speech. But beyond that, it's very difficult for us to legislate courtesy and politeness. You just have to think about it logically. If some of those active union members overstep the line, then all they're going to do is alienate someone, like you quoted your constituents, and they're not going to vote for the union. So it's not in their best interest to do that. What they do and what the procedure is they call ahead to see when would be a convenient time to stop by during nap time or after the children have left, and make an appointment if people are interested in talking about the union. That's what is logical and makes sense, and that's what they do. In the case of the PCAs, they work odd hours. They may work weekends, they may work nights, they may work evenings. You can't restrict the hours like this because they may be sleeping during this time period in the morning or the afternoon because they've worked all night. So it's just not practical, it's not reasonable, and it's not constitutional. So I oppose the amendment.